Out of house John here, coming live from somewhere in North Alabama. Just got back from Ukraine October 1st. I'm going back for good next time. I'm not staying in this country anymore. Can't stand it all here. One thing I like about here, I'm selling my truck, I'm selling the Bama Ram. I got 4 people interested. I think I'm going to get rid of it real soon. So I got to do, get rid of my Bama Ram. I'm the fuck out of this country for good. Gotta learn Russian, so that's okay. Learn Ukrainian, that's okay. It's more freedom over there anyway. And better looking women, more of them. Um, still, it's still pretty much a simple way of life over there. Unfortunately, in this goddamn communist leftist hell spawn U.S., it's so needlessly complicated now. I hate I hate change. I really hate change. I hate change. Change is like annoying, and it's not worth a whole hell of a lot. Change. I don't care if it's pocket change. I don't care if it's changing whatever. It sucks. Change. I hate change. I really hate change nowadays. It makes everything worse. Changing things now means making it worse, not better. Going downhill. Okay. We've reached the top of the hill a long time ago. We've been going downhill for so long in this goddamn overrated, the great American communist leftist hellspawn government controlled U.S. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. You can't. I guess now loser tube. I call this loser tube because it's just run by losers for losers who want to make the easy money by doing loser crap. I call this loser tube. I really don't want to even be a big name. Who wants to be a big name on loser tube? That's what I call this. It's where the losers come. And it takes a loser to make money nowadays. It takes a lowlife to live the high life nowadays. It's the people with the money. People with the money are, they suck with money. They suck without money. And it's just like, it's like money takes the fun out of life nowadays because the people with the money are no fun. They don't know how to create fun. Only way they know how, they just regurgitate the typical lame, boring crap because they have no creative. They're not creative at all. They come up with the pop crowd. It's so easy to entertain the typical lame, boring metropolitan minion pop crowd because they got you all trained to like the same stuff because you know why? It makes them easier to sell the same stuff to the same bunch of boring ass metropolitan minion. You are the, I mean, U.S. represent, U.S. is just too full of the masses of typical lame, boring, loser, arrogant prick, mind manipulated, superficial dickwad, pop crowd, metropolitan minion jackasses. And I'm going to Eastern Europe. I'm going right back. Gonna, I'm hopefully I'm trying to get the rest of my money I have coming to me, and then I'm done with this country. The only thing I like about America is the Alabama land, the Alabama Southern Rock, and the Alabama barbecue. Those are the only 3 things I like about this godforsaken country. That's what I call the U.S. It's a godforsaken country. He forsaken this country the day that U.S. kept claiming it's the number one country in the world, which it is not. The only good thing that makes America number one is the land, not the people. Okay, it's America, the land, that makes this country great, not Americans, the people. I call Americans nowadays the Americans, the great American, the country of great Americans. This country has been living a lie for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's the biggest communist government-run country in the world. The government runs everything. The people don't run shit in this country. You don't run anything in this country. I don't know how the people think they run anything. You don't. The government runs your ass. They run every part of your ass. You can't do anything in this country without the government. The only way people in the U.S. get away with do stuff is because the government allows it. Okay? So sick of saying this, but it's so true. There is nothing. You need the government's permission in the U.S. to build a house, to open a business. You need the government's permission for all that. You need the government's permission to go fishing. You need the government's permission to go hunting. You need the government's permission, the U.S. Communist government's permission to own a gun. You need the U.S. Communist permission to drive a car. You need the U.S. Communist government's permission to get married. They educate your freaking children because the government that runs the public school system, they run the universities. You people can't do anything in the U.S. without the government's approval. The and yeah, Russia is not a communist country. They broke up their communist country in 1992. Okay, it's way more free over there now. See, the thing is, like Ukraine, okay, like yeah, but it was still the USSR. I would have to get Moscow's approval to go into Ukraine, but I don't. I can, all I need is the Ukraine. I can go to Ukraine's permission without the approval of Russia. That which it doesn't make it a America's the communist country because the U.S. is actually 50 different countries. It's 50 different freaking countries run by a mother communist government. All the governments throughout America, they're all linked. The state governments work for the federal government. The city governments work for the state governments. Actually, the city government works for the county government. The county governments in America work for the state governments, and the state governments work for the federal. They're all freaking connected as one communist hellspawn government. Union States government. We need to start go back. They need to start calling the U.S. the Union States, the communist Union States, because that's what it still is. The wrong side won the American Civil War. The government side won. That's why the government runs everything in America. The U.S. government runs the Food and Drug Administration is run by the mother communist government. They're the ones that decide what food you can eat, what drugs you can take. They decide what kind of gun. They already decide all that stuff. The Constitution doesn't do shit for the people. The U.S. Constitution doesn't stop anything from the government controlling the people's lives. That U.S. Constitution is a fucking no better than toilet paper. That U.S. Constitution is fucking useless. It's useless. It doesn't do anything. Wipe your ass with that stupid thing and throw it down the toilet because that U.S. Constitution doesn't do anybody any good. It's a government document written and signed by the government that gives the government the rights over the people. It's that stupid U.S. Constitution. That thing is useless. It's useless. The government. It doesn't matter. The government has the power over everything. That thing doesn't do the people any good. U.S. Constitution ain't worth a shit. It's just another government freaking document that doesn't. The people don't benefit from the U.S. The government already has all the power. They don't. It doesn't matter. Okay. The government. If you need a permit or a license in America to do something, you have to get it from the government, which means, yeah, it's the government giving you permission to do all those things. If you need a license and a permit for it, that's the government's. The government. The government controls everything in the U.S. Every single thing. The only reason people are allowed to walk around for free is because the government allows it. The government can take that away from you too in this country if they want. God. Oh, I don't know how many times I could say this, but yeah, I'm going to Eastern Europe. I'm doing everything in Eastern Europe. I'm doing my park plans in Eastern Europe. I'm doing everything. I'm going to learn the language. Next time, I'm hoping I go as soon as I can. I'm going to sell my damn truck, my Bama Ram. I'm selling it. I'm just getting rid of it so I can get the hell out of this communist U.S. country. The USSA, the Union Soviet States of America. The Great American. Fucking totally. It's been this country has been run by a communist government ever since the Democrat-Republican Party first formed. That's when this country turned communism. The only two times, again, this country ever saw freedom was when the Indians ran it and when the Confederacy was around. Those were only two times people had their own freedom. During the Confederate States and the Indians. Other than that, it's been controlled entirely by the government. May the Confederacy rise again. That's the only way I will stay in this country or come back to this country, if the Confederacy rises again. Screw you Republicans, screw you Democrats, screw both of you. Like I said, the leaders are dumb, the follower voters, you're just dumber. You're just dumber. You still can't see it. You still don't get it. The greatest leader, the greatest world leader is Vladimir Putin, probably in the history of the world. Vladimir Putin. Okay? Trump got what he deserved. Okay? The only reason I was liking Trump because he was going to patch things up with Putin. He was going to patch things up with Russia. That was a good idea. But then Trump ended up backstabbing Putin in favor of Nasty Pelosi. He actually favored Nasty Pelosi in sanctioning Russia for bullshit, for something that wasn't America's business. You know? So Trump got what he deserved. His ass kicked the fuck out of the White House. Because after I like Putin way better than Trump. It's like putting Trump against Putin. It's like putting a boy against a man. Of course Putin's going to beat Trump's ass. Trump's a little boy. Trump's got the mind of a little boy. You know who Trump is? He's Richie Rich Dick all grown up. He's harmless on his own because that he has never learned to be a man. You know how Trump made his way by taking credit for other people's work. That's how Trump got where he is, by taking credit for other people's work. That guy has never done anything successful on his own, ever, ever. The only time anything he ever tried to do on his own, he always screwed up. That's why he always had to have all of his handlers and pamperers to do all the work for him, because he doesn't know how to do any work on his own. Fuck Trump. I never voted for him the last. The only reason I liked him because he was going to try to pass things up with Putin. Okay? Trump didn't stand a chance against Putin. Okay? Putin's the greatest world leader in human history. Okay? He's better than anybody in the past. I mean, look at what he is now. He's back on top. You know, everybody was. You see how the whole world was ganging up against Putin? And Putin just got done kicking the world's ass. After Trump, freaking Richie Rich Dick dumbass. That's what Trump is. He's an idiot. On his own, he's a complete moron. He's a rich, spoiled brat that never did anything on his own. He's had his ass wiped for him his whole life by someone else. Because he's too childish and dumb, and he was so rich. He was just a rich, spoiled, useless brat who made his living off his daddy's money. Okay. He himself even said it when his dad died and left him $300 million, and if he didn't do that, Trump even said himself he would have been homeless without his daddy's money. So F Trump, F your Trump supporters. Okay, he's dumb, you're just dumber. Okay, he's a fool, you're bigger fools. Fuck Trump. I didn't vote for him. I knew better. The guy's a freaking. He's a lowlife living the high life. Anybody who lives in Florida is a lowlife living the high life, and he's the biggest lowlife living the biggest high life of them all in Florida. F Florida, to the Floridians. I call people from Florida. I just call you Floridians. You're the ones that come up to Alabama and give Alabama its bad name. Are you Floridians? You come up here with your Floridian cheesy Mickey Mouse attitude. You come up to Alabama and you give it a bad name. When you Floridians come up here. Same thing with Louisiana. People from I call it Louisiana. I call it Louisiana. It's the same thing. See, that's what the thing about Alabama. You got all these white trash from like Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and Louisiana, and Texas. They all migrate in Alabama, and they give Alabama a bad name. The only time you meet anybody who's actually cool in Alabama, they're born and bred in Alabama. That's been my experience. Only 3 states I like in America left are Mississippi, Alabama, and South Carolina. Texas isn't even part of the American South. It's part of the Mexican North. Texas is North Mexico. Literally. It's Texaco. Why do you think they call it Texaco? Because it's North Mexico. F Mexico. I don't want to go to Mexico, so I don't want to go to Texas. Texaco, I should call it. South Florida is North Cuba, and I can't stand Cubans, so I don't want to go to North Florida. That's North Cuba. Going to Eastern Europe. I'm a European. I'm a European that was born in America in 1968. So I'm going back home. I'm going back to Eastern Europe. I'm going back to my actual home. So now it's who I'm born from, not where I'm born, that determines my nationality. It's who I'm born from. I'm born mostly from Eastern Europeans. I'm Eastern European. I have 0 Indian in me, which means I'm 0% American. So that's about do it. That about do it. So I'm getting tired of these internet idiots. You can't do anything over an hour. I try to do an hour video, and now I got to put in my phone number. F you. What the fuck's up with that? See, this internet, this big tech is just trying to pry into your fucking business. Fuck you, big suck. You bunch of weasel rats.